In the Onuma system, it's possible to view and edit spaces and equipment and furniture inside spaces. Here's an operating room. You can either view it, and if you have editing rights, you can actually move elements around or even add new furniture from a library on the right or from a list imported from other data sources like Excel. Here we've added a new boom arm. You can also place it and rotate it into the room. And a report can be generated on the fly of the spaces. If the equipment actually has other attributes associated with it, like SKU number, or in this case we're showing cost that's associated with each component or equipment in the room, that gets totaled down at the bottom. So as equipment is added or subtracted from the room, these totals would be changing in real time. It's also possible to view it 3D. A 3D view is generated on the fly in the web browser. You can actually twirl it around and actually see the elements, or turn it into a wireframe to look at the shape of the objects, or change the view angle. These would all change as you add or subtract elements from the space. This type of a space can be created one by one, or it could be saved as a template for later reuse. And you can also change the shape of the room if you'd like. And multiple templates like this can become a standard for, let's say, a series of operating rooms. This is part of one room in a building. You can see two side by side here, prototypical operating rooms based on a standard. It is also possible to start with an Excel file with a list of equipment like this. This has about 1,400 pieces of equipment, and one can import them all in one shot or actually inject them into specific rooms. So for example, there's a dental instrument decontamination room on the left listed here, and these are all the pieces of equipment that are required in that room. Off to the right, there are other attributes like SKU numbers and other information that could come from project room contents that define the type of equipment. This Excel file can be modified by the user and then imported into the Onuma system once it's properly formatted. Once inside the Onuma system, the furniture actually gets placed in the spaces, and it can be continued to be adjusted. You can actually even add more pieces of equipment or subtract from it. And then as you're working through the design, what this does, you can actually set aside a requirement model, and as a designer starts working, you can actually compare the original client requirements that could have come from the program for design and the project room contents. You could do a comparison of either um, size of spaces or even equipment inside spaces. So we're going to do a comparison of the components or equipment from the client requirements to this particular model. So now we're seeing room by room or space by space with the current design versus the compared building. So you're seeing things that don't match across. So this is a match right here, and these are pieces of equipment that have not been placed in the space or have been moved out. There's actually quite a bit of discrepancies in some of these rooms, but this one here looks like it's pretty much of a match. There's a few pieces missing. And this is for over 1,400 pieces of equipment, and you can imagine with a larger building, there's a lot of elements like this that could be rapidly checked for alignment between the requirement model to the design model.